Hey, good evening, everyone. I'm going to do something a little bit different today. We're not really going to dive into any current events or anything like that, and get back to like some of the gear videos that I used to do in the early days, is like some of the budget gear. But I wanted to share. I just wanted to kind of share this because it may be a little fun hobby for some of you guys, and I guess it does kind of play into the preparedness and survival realm, but. I've always been a fan of knives since I was a little kid, and always carried a pocket knife, which I think every grown adult male should, but that's my opinion. But so I've recently got into I've always been into flea markets and yard sales, and I found a lot of different things. I always look for fishing equipment. That might be another video for I went a little crazy last year finding fish and stuff, but. So I kind of got into a little bit of treasure hunting this year with some pocket knives, and I figured I just wanted to share this because I thought it was kind of a fun topic if you're into the knives, and eventually I'm gonna probably clean some of these up. They're gonna be available for sale. I'm slowly getting the planning stages of my website together. I just haven't. I'm not sure the whole direction because I dabble in a few different things, but this may be a part of it. But I thought just for fun, this might bring back some memories from when some of us were kids. Maybe gives you an interesting thing. It's like a treasure hunt to me at this point, and I just kind of started basically, I don't know, maybe the last month or so, as I've been hitting some of the flea markets. I've actually found some really interesting pieces that I figured I'd share with you. And this isn't a look what I got. It's kind of a little walk down memory lane for some of us if you were in the Scouts when you were a kid. But some of them are really interesting ones that I found, and I honestly found them for some pretty reasonable prices. And if you start to look, I at the time I really wasn't looking as far as maybe reselling some of these, but that may come down the road because I'm somewhat of a collector, somewhat not, because I use knives, but some of these have been fun, and I've picked up some really interesting ones that I wanted to share. And I've always been a fan of the camping style Boy Scout knife. I always thought they were cool. They're similar to the Swiss Army knife, which I've carried for years. Literally, I probably 30 plus years I've carried a Swiss Army knife in my pocket. But some of these were they really brought back some memories, and I just wanted to come on here and maybe there's a little fun topic for you guys and maybe show you. So this is just a few of the ones that I picked up, and some of them are kind of interesting. And I'll show you that and for what reason. And they're not all. Some of them aren't. One of them isn't actually a pocket knife, but I found this one recent, and I thought it was pretty cool. But so a couple that I wanted to show you, which I thought were neat, and I actually found these in a box. And if you look close, this is an old Cub Scout knife, and this is an old. I don't know if you can actually focus on it because it's really small. This is an old Girl Scout knife, which, to be honest, I had no idea that was an actual thing. But and from what I understand, and what I'm doing is actually I'm redoing some of these knives. I'm cleaning them up. I'm gonna I've been soaking them in a product called Evapo-Rust. If you're not familiar with it, and you can buy it at Harbor Freight, I believe. Even like Home Depot and stuff sells it. And it's really it's like a mild rust remover. But it does a really good job. But it's not like caustic. Like if you were It's very, very mild. You put it in, you don't even know it's working. And I'll leave some of these in there for a day and come back, and it really does. Now it leaves a little bit of a black film on some of them, so you have to kind of clean them off and polish them up a little bit. But it really does work, and so if you're into this kind of thing, check it out. But like I said, this old Cub Scout knife, from the research I'm finding, and if anybody knows about this, please share it with me, because exactly when this was. But this was from, I believe, maybe late 50s or 60s up until maybe the early 70s. And it's in really, really nice condition for its age. I mean, you can even see that it doesn't even look like it's ever been sharpened. But it's really neat little knife. And the Girl Scout knife was one that, from what I've found so far, I believe this is possibly from around the 1940s. I can't be sure because I'm still doing research on some of these, and this might actually be a really good find. I don't know the value on it, But it's a two-bladed knife, and it's actually in really good condition too. It doesn't look like this blade was ever really messed with. No, these ones are all, every knife that I have here except for one that I found was a USA knife. They're all made, and this one's Utica, this Girl Scout knife. So these are a couple of the things, and if you're into that, here's another, and this is another one that I found. This one is really in nice condition. I really want to spend some time on this one. And this is made by a company called Ulster, and they're I'm still doing some research. I don't know a lot about these, but if anybody knows about some of these knives, please feel free in the comments to let me know. But this actually has a fourth blade too, and this knife is I'm not sure, from what I've seen, this could possibly be World War II. I'm not sure. I actually saw somebody working on one online, and if this is a fact, they claim that these were made for the military. Like I said, please correct me if I'm wrong, but this knife is in really good condition. So I found these, and I found these all on basically one shot. So I'm just sharing these. If you guys are into this thing, great. If you're not, there's another one here. This is called a camper's knife, and it's basically the same kind of thing. This one still needs a little bit of work, but I'll pull the blades out here real quick. And this one has your typical, bottle opener. You got your can opener. I think they consider these like a leather punch, but you can use them to punch holes, whatever. But this one is actually in pretty decent shape too. This is called a camper's knife, and this one is made by this one. I can't actually see the name on this one yet. I believe it says Tanica. It's really hard to read. I can't. It still needs a little bit of polishing, but anyway, this one's called a camper's knife with a C. But I also found this one recently, and I'm still in the process of cleaning this one up. This one needs a little bit of work. The bone handle. This has like a metal, but it looks like a bone handle. And this one's called a Camp King with a K. And this basically has the same, kind of the same setup as this one. Actually pretty darn close to the same. I think they made different models of these camp knives. I also have a couple that are soaking in the evaporust, but they're probably going to be parts knives. But and then I found a couple of these little Imperial pocket knives. If you're into these are really cool. But I just wanted to like bring this up as maybe inspire you to get out there if you're out looking for stuff. Some of these I've gotten some really good deals on them. Now the one that I found recent was actually it was made right here in Pennsylvania, which is why I thought it was pretty cool. And it's made by a company called Queen Cutlery. And this was actually it's considered a butcher knife. I haven't quite figured out the year on this one yet. Still diving into it because it's a recent find. Actually in really good condition. As you can see, I believe this could be 40s, 30s, 40s, 50s, maybe even older. I don't know exactly yet. The Queen Cutlery was actually right here in PA, which I thought was kind of neat. They're not maybe an hour from here in Titusville, Pennsylvania. So, but they went out of business from what I understand in 2018. But another interesting one, I found this, and I'm familiar with Queen Cutlery a little bit. I'm still diving into this. This was in a box of kitchen knives, and I just happened to see it. And it looked kind of unique, and then I realized where it was from. But I'm not finding a lot of luck on that one. So. But yeah, if you just another thing to inspire you while you're out looking around. I found this Barlow knife, which it needs a little bit of work, but it was pretty cheap. I think I only paid a couple of dollars for this one too. So, but the deals are out there for this stuff, and not even just knives. Like I said, there's a lot of camping gear that I've been finding, and I do like some of the older camping stuff. I think on some of the earlier videos we've gone over that, I've had a couple of the old camp stoves. But I'm just, like I said, it's kind of a fun thing. I mean, I didn't realize how much interesting it was when you're out looking around and you just look down in some of these boxes and people are just basically almost giving some of these things away. And like I said, some of them needed cleaned up. This one here, this Camp King, and that Evaporust did a really good job, and it still needs a little bit of polishing. But this thing was almost completely covered in rust. I had a hard time even getting it open to inspect it. And like I said, it needs a little bit of work. It's missing the bail, which is it's like that little hook on the end of it. So you know, I'm going to look for some of these and see if I can maybe even find some of these knives as parts knives, and then, you know, steal some of them to kind of restore them. So, but yeah, like I said, just wanted to throw something on here. It's a little bit different than normal. I know it's not a camping video or really preparedness, but pocket knives are always, you know, you can always use them. In for what the cost of some of these was, throw them in your pocket, give them away as gifts, or even collect them, which is probably what I'm going to do with some of these, because they're pretty interesting finds. But if any of these knives, you know anything about them, and I'm wrong on some of this information, please share it with please share in the comments, because I'm really interested in finding the history on some of these out, and some of them aren't real easy. I'm not really finding a lot of history on some of them. Some of them I am. Some of it's a little bit vague, because some of these I think were made for several years. I haven't found like serial numbers or anything on any of them to really to pin it down. So anything, any help would be appreciated. And like I said, get out there and search for stuff. You know, I watch a lot of the videos, and you know, some of the preparedness and survival videos, and you know, a lot of these guys, they kind of push a lot of the really expensive equipment, and that's fine if you can afford it. But most of us, we're on budgets. We don't have, you know, tons of money to throw around on that stuff. But there's deals to be had out there, and I'm showing you some of this as just you know, basically to show you some of the deals that are out there. There's some really good finds in here, and I'm going to continue to look. It's kind of become like a little bit of a almost like a new hobby for me, and just treasure hunting. Like I said, I found probably a dozen and a half knives here. They're not all. There's a few of them that aren't I don't have laid out here, but you know, get out there and check it, man. Hit the yard sales, the flea markets. Just watch what you're buying, because you know, the flea markets aren't like they used to be. They've actually gotten to the point where some of the stuff is, you know, used junk, and it's above retail prices. But there are still some deals. You have to be, you know, willing to try and haggle a little bit. But you know, get out there and look for the stuff. You know, as far as like some of the even gear, I mean, a lot of this, you see a lot of the overlanding stuff, and a lot of that gear is just ridiculously expensive, and you don't need to do that to get out camping or whatever it is you want to do. You can do it on a budget, just like the fishing stuff, which I may do a video on that down the road, because I've actually got some pretty good deals, which is, you know, fishing is one of the things I like to do, and probably a lot of you do too if you're into self-reliance, survival, prepping, all that kind of stuff. And I'll show you some of the things where, you know, that I've found, and some of it I've gotten for free, some of it I've gotten really cheap. I bought, you know, entire boxes of, you know, tackle and things like that. So, but get out there, and like I said, I just wanted to kind of throw this out as maybe a little bit of a fun video, a little bit more of a lighthearted video, and maybe inspire you to get out, maybe find a new hobby. And you know, it's actually really fun just looking through stuff, because some of them I found in really unlikely places. A couple of them were actually in tackle boxes that people had just thrown inside tackle boxes, and you know, we're trying to sell the different things, and I picked them up cheap. So anyway, thanks for stopping by. If you guys like this video, please like and subscribe and share it, and please in the comments, if you have any some cool knives, you know, let me know what they are. If you know anything about these ones, please share that information, and I'll see you on the next one, and probably try to get back on here again. We're hitting another camping trip, and we have the Marionville Forest County Bigfoot Festival this weekend. So if you're not doing nothing, get up there and check it out. It is a fun thing, and it's not probably as crazy as it may sound. It is actually kind of fun to just walk around and see the different things, and food trucks, vendors, all that kind of stuff. So then that starts this Friday, and that's right in downtown Marionville, Pennsylvania, which is I guess that's right on Route 66, going right through downtown. They shut a couple of the streets down, and there's probably not much lodging and things up there now, because it's really grown even in the last 3 years since we've been going up there. It's really gotten big. So you know, it's worth a day trip though, for something for fun to do. So anyway, if I get a chance, I'm gonna maybe try to run the video up there and just kind of give you an idea what it is, and give them a little promotion for possibly for next year. So hey, have a good night. I will see you guys on the next one, and God bless.